Right, we are seeing the visuals of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi exchanging a good big hug with the French President Emmanuel Macron. He is speaking to the French President as well, and there you see the Prime Minister as soon as the French President had entered. Of course, India and France traditionally have had great relationships, good cordial ties. Abhishek, but there's been a lot on the French President's mind with the rise of the far right. In fact, he has urged French parties to unite against far-right national rally. He has even called for early parliamentary elections in response to his crushing defeat in the EU Union vote. Now, there's a lot on his mind, but the French president extremely happy to meet with the Prime Minister, shaking hands, greeting each other, as well as we're seeing those live visuals right now.
While we can understand the fact that there is a wave of right-wingers in Europe and many of the countries, but mostly Indian relationship with Western world or with the USA have been bipartisan nature. So while the domestic politics may have some reshuffling in terms of who will be leading which countries, that includes whether Macron will be able to hold his presidency in the days to come, and Rishi Sunak will continue to be the Prime Minister of UK. The broader sense is that the policies of these countries towards India will not change drastically, and India will continue to have a bilateral and cordial relationship with these countries. President Macron has been seen as one of the leaders who has strengthened the India-France bilateral relationship
Yes.
in the sectors like defense, education, people-to-people engagement, and other areas. And he has been the chief guest at Republic Day Parade. Also, Prime Minister Modi had traveled to France last year to be the chief guest at the French National Day. So the closeness between the two leaders has been there, and the latest meeting that we are currently witnessing happening in G7 is a reflection of that cordial relationship.
Oh, absolutely. And Siddharth, as Abhishek rightly said, that relationship has only gathered significant momentum over the years, especially under the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rule. They share a very cordial relationship, both the leaders. And today, the relationship has evolved into an even closer, multifaceted relationship. France and India, in fact, have these relations as far as defense is concerned. There's just so much that is exchanged between both these countries. France is one of India's main partners for armaments as well in the defense sector.
Well, absolutely, but I would like to begin by citing an example. So I don't remember the exact place where this conversation took place, but if I'm not mistaken, once this question was put to EMS Jaishankar, that whether France is India's Lakshman in Europe. So more or less he was on the same page. So France is considered, if India is Ram, then France is considered as India's Lakshman in Europe, because when all these Western countries, sort of come together at times to make unrequired, unnecessary commentary on India, in those times, France usually keep itself away from that grouping. At the same time, France is the most reliable ally, as Abhishek was rightly pointing out, of India in Europe. Talking about the defense purchase, then there is already a response that has been submitted by France for buying 26 Rafale marine jets. So that one deal is still in the pipeline between India and France, 26 Rafale marine jets. And other than this, also the leader-to-leader bond, Prime Minister Modi and Emmanuel Macron. Again, I would like to give an example. There were a lot of reports that President Biden is going to come for the Republic Day parade this year to India. But at the last moment, there was no green signal given by US. It was Emmanuel Macron who stepped in and became the chief guest for the Republic Day parade this year. So that level of understanding and bonding is with France. India's bonding and leader-to-leader bonding, Prime Minister Modi and Emmanuel Macron. In fact, there was a roadshow also which took place in Jaipur. And the same way, Prime Minister Modi was in Paris for the National Day of France on 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken. So both countries have an extraordinary understanding and relations. At the same time, also Emmanuel Macron becomes the first foreign dignitary with whom Prime Minister Modi has met in his third term after
Right.
being re-elected as the Prime Minister. So, you know, this again signifies and establishes the closeness that both leaders, the closeness between the two countries and the level of understanding.
Absolutely. In fact, he's meeting with the Prime Minister after his visit in January when he was the very esteemed chief guest, as Siddhant was telling us, for India's Republic Day celebration that once again signified the enduring Indo-French relationship, and that kind of bonhomie, the cordiality is quite evident with the greetings that have been exchanged by both these leaders, who are extremely comfortable in each other's presence. And, you know, the strategic partnership, the visit of Emmanuel Macron at that time did bring forth some major announcements in defense and the other strategic sectors. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We will keep coming back to you. A lot is happening in Italy where the G7 summit is happening. I'm going to take a short break, but stay tuned. I'll be back with lots more on the other side. Keep watching.
Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18. For all the latest news and updates, do follow us on our social media platforms.